Welcome back, everyone, to Better Than Before. Tony Richards here, and my special guest today is Brant Kelsey, just outside of Hotlanta in Columbus, Georgia. He's the founder of Kelsey Advertising and Design. He's a certified brand strategist, obsessed with helping businesses connect with customers through brand innovation and marketing. He's got a team of creative professionals that reflect his personal passion for conquering new ground in the marketing world. And with the vision and ingenuity of an entrepreneur and the creativity and technical prowess of a digital strategist, he helps clients realize the powerful potential of integrating digital marketing and emerging technologies with traditional marketing tactics. And I want to talk to him about websites today. Brant, my boy, how are you?
I'm doing great, Tony. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
You bet, man. Now, you live in Columbus or LaGrange? Which one?
I live in LaGrange. It's just north of Columbus.
Okay, awesome. But it's in Georgia. I know that.
Yes, you got the state right. Yes.
Well, as long as I'm in the state. So I want to talk to you about websites today. So if you wanted to rebuild your website or maybe improve the one you have for a business today, where's the typical starting point for somebody?
Well, first off, every business owner needs to understand how the website fits into their overall business strategy. Is it going to support with sales? Is it going to support with education? What is the overall goal of the website? And you really need to know that. Gone are the days where people just put up a website and kind of forget about it. You've really got to hone in on your message and make it work really well. You know, Google's people's best friend. They can go online and find out information about just about anything. And so your website needs to really answer a question or be the go-to resource for whatever it is you sell. And knowing what your business strategy is, you know, if you're generating leads or you're selling widgets or whatever it is, you need to really understand how your website is going to help you attain those goals.
You know, one of the things I've heard you say before in our conversations is that website is the center of your universe and you need to build around it, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, everything that you do and everything that your competitors are doing reference back to their website and your website. So whether you're handing out business cards at a chamber event or you're running ads on television or on radio, everybody's advertising materials send people back to the website. It's the one piece of marketing. It's the one employee that's always working 24 hours a day. Again, your website supports that business strategy just like your employee would or any of the communications or advertising that you put into the marketplace.
Now, one of the things I've learned from you, and I think this is really intriguing, I want you to talk about it, is if you're going to build a really effective website, you never start with design. What do you mean by that?
Again, going back to supporting the business strategy, it really doesn't, and I'm going to offend a lot of people when I say this, but it really doesn't matter what it looks like, okay? Because if people don't find you or you're not saying the right things to them or the right information is not on the website, they're just going to leave. They're not going to hang around and try and figure out what you're fumbling around trying to tell them. What I do is I really try to get clients to worry about design last, colors and logos and all that stuff last, and just really concentrate on what is it we're trying to communicate and how is that going to get the customer to pick up the phone, email us, or give us money?
Yeah. So even if you're building it for not necessarily e-commerce, but you are building it with your brand in mind, it's the same principle, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the psychology for services versus products is different, but it's still the same in the fact that you need to get people where they want to be quickly, get them educated, get them up to speed, them feeling comfortable about your brand and that you know what you're talking about and that you're dependable and trustworthy, and then asking them for the sale.
So people fall into the trap of design, like over design or too concerned about design. What are some of the other traps and pitfalls that people fall into?
Well, there's a lot of business owners that get hung up on the way something is said. In our businesses day to day, we have a lot of industry speak. Your customers don't always know exactly what you're trying to say, okay? In our world, we say brand development.
Right.
Well, to someone else, brand development that may mean logo design in their head, but that's not exactly what we're talking about. So you need to be able to step back as a business owner, as a marketing person, and say, what are the phrases and terms that layman people are using that are searching for my service or product, and integrate that into your website. It may not be perfect. It may make you cringe when you hear it said, but it's really what the general public knows it as and searches.
So when you're talking to a customer about taking their customer down the pathway they want them to go on, like, so the sales process, does that typically put your client in a lot of pain to think that out?
Sometimes, yeah. Some owners, it's a sacred cow and they just can't get over the fact that you're saying this wrong or this isn't exactly right. So much of what goes on online is done by search. You have Google, you have Bing, you have YouTube. Now you're getting into things like voice search on devices like Alexa and Google devices and the such. People just ask them in everyday language what they're looking for. Sometimes as business owners, we get hung up on trying to sound important or trying to sound like a true expert.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we just need to dumb it down so we can get those people into our reach.
Right. So the value's really created in the one-on-one, right?
That's right.
So we need to just make sure we use some pretty common language in order to get the customer down the path to having that conversation with us. Then we can show off all we want, right?
That's right. Once we get them into our ecosystem, whether it's on our website or talking to a salesperson or somewhere within our reach, then we can start educating them and say, hey, this is what it's really called and this is what it really means.
So what are some of the things that are going on as far as where websites are going?
Well, websites and websites design, I mean, I tell people it's just like fashion. There are seasons to it. Trends come and go. There are some core things that really stand the test of time and that you want to really concentrate on when you're designing your site.
Give us just one of those.
Well, most importantly right now is speed. Back in the day when we just had 3G and, people had flip phones and were surfing the internet back in the Wild West days, speed was an issue because of the size of things that were coming through the pipe.
So it would take your website a long time to load.
Yeah, it would take 30 seconds for a website to come up on a mobile phone back in the day. Now it's shifted to where people are so impatient that speed means something completely different. Now we have super fast wireless connections. There's virtually zero wait, and people are very impatient now. So you really have to tailor your site to appeal to those kind of people. Maybe they just are looking for a phone number and address, and they just need it right then and there.
Once I find a website that kind of meets my needs for whatever utility it is that I'm going to use it for, I don't do a lot of searching around on the internet. Is that common or uncommon?
I find myself doing that a lot as well. I mean, just like with brands that you trust, I mean, you probably buy the same kind of soap and you buy the same kind of cereal and all that stuff. You just trust those sites and those brands, and it's easy to use. Search is very important, and that's something that every business owner should be concerned about and working on a daily basis.
So that whole SEO, that's still going to be even more important, right?
Oh yeah, it's gotten a lot more sophisticated in recent years. Back in the day, you could just stuff your web page with a bunch of keywords and you would rank. Well, Google caught on to that, and now their systems are so smart that they look at synonyms and other phrases, so they can look at a whole web page or a whole site and know the general topic of that website and just kind of auto rank it. The game is completely different than it was, and it's just evolving every day.
What's the best way for me to know if my website's working for me? SEO is important, and I know that I need to either learn how to do that or have somebody do that for me. The way you just described it, it sounds like somebody's got to really be paying attention to it, putting some time into it. So how do I know as a business owner whether it's working or not?
There's tons of tools out there that you can connect your website to measure just about everything, but really there's three basic tools that you should really be familiar with. One is Google Analytics. That's going to tell you how many people hit what pages, how long they were on it, et cetera, et cetera. So that's kind of great basic information. Then there's another tool called Google Search Console. And what it does is it shows you what people searched for in Google that your website popped up. They may have searched for brown shoes, and you didn't even know that you were ranking for brown shoes, but you're ranking for it, and it shows you that you showed up for that search term. So that's very useful. And then the last one, it's an advertising tool, but you can learn a lot of great things from it. It's called Google Keyword Planner. And you can type in your website or your competitors' websites or some industry websites, and you can really get a feel for what Google sees are the keywords for those sites. And you can start to learn what the industry and your competitors and you are presenting yourself. And you can steal some keyword ideas or maybe glean some insights that you may not have had before.
Let's shift here to content marketing and blogging and video and social media. How do you integrate all that stuff to make your website kind of more effective?
You've got to be creating a wealth of information. Google not only wants to see good content, they want to see that you're a resource and that you know what you're talking about. And resources and people who know what they talk about it a lot. And so you need to demonstrate that online as well. And I'm not just talking about your website, but like your social media accounts, or if you do guest blogging for other people, you just need to get your expertise out there. You know, some companies monetize their content, most do not. So you really need to think about content and social media and things of that nature. And this is my personal philosophy. I think of it as advertising. Okay, so it's more like a commercial for your website. It's not necessarily the centerpiece. A lot of people will be surprised to find out that most of their traffic is not coming in through the homepage. It's coming in through a page that may be 2 or 3 levels deep on their website. And that's because those pages are usually more specific and tailored to a certain subject. And so Google ranks those more highly. So as you write blog posts and create content on your website, those pages get spidered and they attract more and more people to your website.
So I want a little consumer warning question here for you, because probably every week, I mean, I'm approached all the time by these people who work for companies who can tell me they can get my site ranked #1 and they can help my SEO. And I scored 57 out of 100 on some test they ran. So what's the story here? Is this legit and real or not?
Yeah, I would, I might steer clear of those. Really 2 types of SEO out there. There's black hat and white hat.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those types of people run in the black hat or gray hat circles. You know, I tell most of my clients, slow and steady wins a race. Just create a little bit of content every day as you go. If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it.
That's true. Yeah.
Google's caught on to all that stuff, and they're constantly changing their algorithm to block those kinds of people. So slow and steady, make content, quality content every day, and you'll get to where you need to be.
Okay, sounds good. Well, listen, Brant, I could talk to you all day about this stuff, and I hope you'll come back sometime and from time to time update us on what's going on in the world of technology and websites and how all this can work together to enhance and increase people's website effectiveness for their business. I got a standard list of closing questions I'm going to shoot at you in rapid fire succession.
Uh-oh.
There's only like 12 questions in a row, and I don't think there'll be anything too hard here, okay?
Okay.
All right. So first question, what's the best memory that immediately comes to mind for Brant?
Ooh. Travel. I love to travel.
Great. What's the most beautiful place you've ever been to?
Austria.
Who's the #1 hero in your life?
Probably my wife.
What's the top value you subscribe to?
Probably golden rule.
Who's the most important person in your life?
My wife and daughter, for sure.
Yeah, what are their names?
I'm married to Meg, and Ruthie's my daughter. She's a senior this year.
Oh, right on. What's your favorite thing in the whole world?
I'm pretty in love with my Jeep right now. I love playing with that thing.
All right, man. What's your favorite food?
Mexican.
How do you want to be remembered?
I just want to be remembered as helpful. I love, helping people every day, and I get a lot of satisfaction out of that.
All right, great. Advice for a younger Brant?
Stay hungry.
What's your favorite sound?
Probably the Sunday night football intro music.
And the best lesson you've learned?
Procrastination kills. for sure. Yep.
Perfect. We've used Brant and his company to build our clearvisiondevelopment.com website. We love working with them. Brant, tell everybody how to find you on the internet.
You can hit us on our website, kelseyads.com. We're on Twitter, Kelsey Ads, and we also have a Facebook page. So reach out to us anytime if we can help, and would love to talk to anybody.
Sure. And you work with people all over, right?
Yeah, we have clients all across the country and a few over in Europe. We welcome working with just about anybody.
All right. Brant Kelsey with Kelsey Advertising and Design in Columbus and LaGrange and Atlanta and all over Georgia and all over the United States. Brant, thanks for being on today, my man.
You bet. Thank you so much, Tony. We'll talk to you soon.
Receive weekly coaching tips from Tony Richards delivered straight to your inbox. Whether you're a CEO or an entrepreneur, Tony can help you reach your goals and give you a competitive edge within your industry. Tony's Monday Morning Coaching Memo covers topics ranging from leadership development to teamwork to company culture and more. Text the word leadership to 38470 to sign up for Tony's Monday Morning Coaching Memo, or sign up online at clearvisiondevelopment.com.